Hello to everybody at Woodnewton, and especially those in year 4, because I've heard that you've been reading a book a little lately, a book called The Great Chocoplot. Yes, well, I've read this book as well. Well, in fact, I wrote this book. Yes, that's my name there. My name is Chris Callaghan. So hello there. Hello everybody at Woodnewton. And it's been great hearing that you have been enjoying the book. I always love to connect and to meet whenever I can my readers. Obviously lately I can't go into schools as much as I used to do, but there are other ways of saying hello to people. So yes, I've heard that you've enjoyed my story. So it's always nice hearing from people who've enjoyed my story. It's not always as interesting, always as nice to hear from people who haven't enjoyed my story, but you know, we all like different things, and that's fair enough. But I am glad that you enjoyed my story, and I've got some letters from yourselves, so thank you very much for it. You've all been very busy writing lots and lots of letters, so I do appreciate that. That's been great getting those letters. You're a very determined lot, aren't you? You know what you want, and you've asked, a lot of you have asked a similar kind of questions about reading. You're all very passionate about encouraging reading in your school, and that's fantastic. That is wonderful to hear. And I think, you know, you're asking me what I can do to help out with that, but I think you're already doing a great job with that. Just your enthusiasm for reading, it gets other people reading. And talking about reading, talking about the books that you've read, talk about the stories that you've heard. That, because when we read on our own, it's quite a lonely thing to read a book on your own. But it's great if you've been sharing it with your class, and then you get to talk about, the story. You get to talk about things. Oh, I wasn't expecting that to happen, or oh, I wonder what's going to happen next. And you can do that with books that you're reading at home as well. And then that means that maybe somebody who doesn't normally read too much will hear you talking about those books, talking with such excitement and enthusiasm about these books, and maybe they will then go away and read those books themselves. And that's a great thing. It's it's great to be a reader who enjoys reading lots of books, but there's always people around who don't enjoy reading books, and I know that, because when I was younger, I didn't read much. I was what was maybe called a reluctant reader. I struggled with reading, and I found a lot of stories quite boring. But it's all about finding the right stories and finding the right books. And if you keep talking about that, then everyone will find new authors, new stories, new types of adventures. Now, talking about that, I have just released a whole new series of books. These are books called Shinoy and the Chaos Crew. Now, these are specially written with people like I was talking about there, people who don't often read stories, just like I was. And these are kind of wacky, crazy adventure stories, and hopefully they'll be enjoyed by lots of people. Maybe your school might start getting some of these, because these are brand new. They've only just been out just a few weeks, full of craziness, full of action, full of adventure. I've tried to make them as silly as possible, and I've written them. There's 24 in this series. 7 of these stories were written by a lovely writer called Zoe Clark, and they've been illustrated by a fantastic illustrator called Amit Tial. So I've thoroughly enjoyed writing those stories, and I've just finished writing some graphic novels, some comic books to do with Shinoy and the Chaos Crew, and they're coming out in a few months' time. So maybe your school might be interested in getting them. But for the meantime, I am very glad to hear that you've enjoyed Chocoplot. I mean, this was my first book released, and I've had a lot of fun talking about this book and sharing my stories with lots of readers. And maybe, who knows, when the world gets a little bit more normal, which hopefully isn't going to be too long now, maybe schools can open up a little bit more. Authors can come back into schools, and I know a lot of author friends who are very keen to get back into school, and I certainly am. So maybe, you never know, an author visit would be fantastic. But until then, keep reading those stories, keep talking about stories, keep sharing those stories. You've obviously got a lot of enthusiasm for your stories, and that is fantastic. And don't forget as well, eat a bit of chocolate as well. I think this might be my tea tonight. Yes, a nice big bar of chocolate, but maybe just a little bar of chocolate as well sometimes. Okay, so yes, so thank you very much for getting in touch. Thank you so much for sending those letters. I really do appreciate it. They were all brilliant letters. And take care of yourselves. So enjoy. Bye now.